All right, on this one, I want to go over more of like the 50-yard chip shot or the 30 to 50-yard chip shot or pitch shot. The simplicity of it is what I want to get through. A lot of people think when you get over a ball, you got the 50-yard shot, it's more of a guessing game. I want to turn this more into a confidence game, okay? So when I say that, I mean when I set up over a ball, okay, I want to know I've got a 50-yard swing or I've got a 35-yard swing. I probably walked that one off at about 37. So I want to know my 37-yard swing, okay? And that's the thing. In order for people to hit these kind of shots, they've got to know their distance. So it all comes back to practice, okay? No matter what you do, it all comes back to practice. If you don't practice this shot enough, you're not going to know your yardages, okay? So no matter what, with you guys, it's the level game you guys have. You got to practice your game anyway. So I want to implement this into all your games, but I want to make sure that you guys understand how this shot happens. Okay, so basically when I get set up over a chip shot, same thing we talked about on the chipping green. We're hitting these chip shots, we want to open our stance a little bit more. Same on a pitch shot. Okay, if I've got a pitch shot that's 30-something yards, I want to set up over it. I don't want to set up square because what's happening with the wedge is I've got to go up and down with it. Okay, I still want to swing around my body. I'm going to open my stance a little bit more, and I'm going to give myself my 37-yard chip shot. Okay, so I set everything else square to the target, and I swing around my feet. Okay, so my feet are going this way. My club face stays open a little longer, but I use the bounce of my club. Okay, so if I've got a 37-yard shot, I'm going to open my stance a little bit more. I tend to choke down on this shot just because I've got a lot of distance, and I don't want my lag to get included in this shot. Okay, so I choke down a little bit, and I'll play my 37-yard shot. My 37-yard shot is about right here. Okay, this is where I try to stop it. I'm pretty sure it goes a little higher, but I try to stop it about right here, and I try to follow through the same way. All right, so anytime you follow through one shot back, or your backswing, anytime you go back, I want you to try and follow through the same distance. Always with these pitch shots. Okay? Unless you want to go a little lower or a little higher, which turns into a flop shot. But the trajectory is always determined on the follow through. Distance is always determined on the backswing. So I want to try and take my 37-yard shot, which is this one, and I'm going to try and land it as close to. Now, if I want to land it at 37 yards, that's one thing. But if I want to land it short and let it release, then I play it a little shorter. But I want to try and land it as close as I can to that basket. So my 37-yard shot is this one right here. Alright? So that went about 45 yards. But I followed through a little faster. Main thing with these shots are tempo. Okay, so although you say, well, this might be your 37-yard shot or 35-yard shot, if my tempo is fast going through, I'm going to add some more distance. I don't want to add more distance. I want to keep everything the same. So my tempo needs to get a little better for me to hit this shot. So this is my 37-yard swing. That's more like 37 yards. Okay, so basically, in order to determine your distance, you've got to practice it. But I want you to understand that this shot is going to be more of a reliable shot as chipping it. Okay, so I want you to open that stance a little more, ball's a little further back, and I want you to find your distance. Okay, find that separation between 37 yards and 50 yards. Okay, and I want you to follow along the line of your feet. Okay, keep everything low enough to follow along the line of your feet. You never want to get too outside of your feet. You never want to set up normal and hit this normal kind of shot where we're adding loft to the ball. Okay, everything is more along the path of our feet. So I want DeAndre, I want you to give me a shot of what you think your chip shot looks like, and then give me the way I taught you. So DeAndre's stance is a little open anyway, which is good. He chokes down a lot on it. So about 37 yards, let's see what it looks like. Alright. It's not bad. So basically that just puts a little bit more emphasis on what I was saying. Okay? You got underneath it, utilize the bounce of your club. Okay, so your chip shot, that shot was good. Okay, but we utilize the bounce of the club. That's what we want to use. We want to use that bounce. So you showed us using the bounce. So maybe Alright, good. Perfect. So you hit that one about 35. So utilize the bounce. The best way to realize, to understand if you're using the bounce of the club is to look at the marks you make. Okay? Anytime you see a lot of divot, that means the blade of the club is being used. Anytime you see more of a brush through the grass, and you're not really taking divots, that means the bounce is going through the grass. Okay? So we're utilizing that. And that's what I want to take advantage of. The bounce on the club is here for a reason. It's here for you to bounce and do exactly what it says, bounce. Okay? It's not to get stuck. It's not called stuck. It's not called the jam. It's called the bounce. Okay? So we use the bounce in order to get through the grass, let it bounce through the grass, and then let the blade work for us. Okay? Give it one more time, one more shot. The same thing. And basically look at, just basically you can see his stance is a little open, he chokes down a little bit. His follow through, his takeaway is about the same height as his follow through. Alright? You almost made that one. So that's perfect. So that's basically what you want to look at. Mike, let me see yours too. So same thing. You just want to work on that. The height was good and the distance was good. So let's see Mike. Now is this your normal setup or is this what I just said? Or what I told you? What are you going to do?
It's just my normal setup.
Alright, so your normal setup. Let's see how your normal setup is. Normal setup is a little open, which is good where I want him. Alright, ball's a little further back in the stance. Let's watch his takeaway and follow through. Good, good. Perfect, just over top. That's perfect. Your trajectory is a little lower than I would expect, but that's good. Face gets a little shut, which is fine. That's where that bounce comes from afterwards. But good, try it again. One more time. Good, good. Now the reason why that one went right, okay, when you follow through, when you don't follow the line of your feet, okay, if my feet are open and I swing this along this path right here, okay, I'm leaving the face open too long. That's why that ball's gonna go right. Even no matter what, if I've got my feet open, and I've got the club face here, club face square, I still want to follow along the line of my feet, my path, okay? Club face is gonna open up a little more, but it's gonna follow along the line of my path. So it's gonna help the ball stay where I want it to go, but in that distance. So the reason your ball went right was because you let along the outside of your feet instead of following the line of your feet. So give it to me again. You just follow more of the line of your feet. Focus on that line of your feet and just make sure you brush through the grass the same way. Good, better, look at that. Perfect. See even a little tail draw on the end with a little wedge pitch shot. So that's basically what I want to focus on with these shots. This shot is not as hard as a lot of people think, but the mistakes do happen, okay? And when those mistakes happen, we want to understand with any shot is why it happens. If you understand why it happens, you become, I mean, you're your own coach out on the course anyway, but if you understand why it happens, you automatically do it. Now you know why it happens, and then the only thing that makes you a worse player is this right here is to help you learn how to fix it, okay? So with you, if that shot goes right like that, you know I fell along, I got off the line of my feet, okay? So I got more handsy on that one, okay? I've got to stay along the line of my feet and hit the same pitch shot, same backswing, same follow through, and it works for me, and it gets it going that path. But again, it all comes back down to practice. You still got to practice that shot to figure out the distance, okay? If I wanted to hit a longer shot, do I grab a longer club or do I hit the same club and swing longer? Well, I've got that option, but I just got to understand what my option is. That's why I got to practice it. So I've got to learn so I can use those options, so I can have those options in my bag. I always want to pull that club out and understand what I can do with this shot. Okay, it hurts me if I pull out a 60 degree and I'm okay, and I'm not in position to do that one shot. So now that you've got a shot, now that you understand how to utilize the bounce, and you can learn the distances on that, you pull out that 60 degree or that 54 degree or that 56 degree, and you've got options. That's basically what we want to come down to is how do we get options. Any questions?